This is interesting. The official theories, or authorities and his family believe he still may be alive and may have left on his own account. His bank accounts are still being monitored to this day in accordance with the theory that he went missing intentionally. So the authorities don't think that he's in the park. They think that from what I read, I don't have it included here, there's a pretty easy way from the staircase trail to get down to, you got to go down like another couple trails and you can get to like a Forest Service road. Okay. And they theorize that he could have just hiked, down these trails and met someone on that service road and poof, he's gone. So I think that's really interesting. This would be, like you said, off the deep end theory in any other case. And the authorities in this case think that's what he potentially did. So, okay. My personal theory, I have a hard time coming to the spy theory.
What?
Like, why do you need to go out on a hike to do it? He lived by himself. Just leave. And you draw less attention to yourself if you just left.
There's two theories within the spy theory. You understand this, correct?
You tell me. Tell the listeners.
How are you not on the same page? We're almost a conspiracy theory podcast, kind of. Yeah. Like, we report real things, but we're like the Venn diagram for conspiracy theories and missing persons. We're like in the middle.
Would you agree that if your goal was to disappear and become a spy, less attention would be drawn to you if you just left your apartment one day and didn't come back versus go hiking and start a massive search looking for you?
Yeah, if you think like a mere peasant.
Well, what's your...
That's what you'd expect them to do. That's why they absolutely don't do it that way.
So, I mean, if this was Hollywood, you would have like a cadaver that matches your appearance.
Which is why you don't do it that way either.
You don't do... So what do you think happened?
I think he's definitely a spy. And obviously, I don't know the exact mission or reason, but he needs to disappear for certain reasons.
I mean,
this is one of the theories, is he needs to disappear and be declared dead for whatever reason.
Yeah.
For undercover missions or whatever. Second thing, he was captured by the enemy.
Okay.
Because if he's been involved in all that stuff, they could have been monitoring him, and he's somewhere overseas in a black site being pumped for information, and they got to go get him back.
Okay.
Those are the two scenarios in the spy. I think those are the most likely.
Most likely.
Serial killer, no way.
Don't think it was a serial killer.
Combat trained. He's obviously, I don't think it said special forces, but a lot of times you don't know. They always show those pictures of the guy's faces across, so they don't know if he went for training.
Can you imagine being a serial killer and the one guy you pick is ex-paratrooper intelligence officer?
Yeah, the only reason we know that theory isn't correct is because the serial killer, Keys, never randomly was injured in hiking by somebody.
He comes back with a broken leg.
Yeah, in his story when he was arrested, he never said he was assaulted in the woods by somebody, because that would have been our guy.
Yeah.
So I think and that trail is simple.
Yeah.
And he's trained. I mean, he saw
military
combat
trained,
overseas.
Bronze stars.
Yeah. Like he didn't trip in the river. I mean, yeah, he could have.
Yeah.
Sure. But he's not clumsy and around because he's out of shape.
So he didn't have, a harp on this. He didn't have proper gear to go hiking.
Yeah, because he wasn't hiking. Yeah. That's the one tell.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take some pictures.
Yeah. I guess
he was dressed up like the stereotypical undercover Fed from that time. Hawaiian shirt, cargo shorts.
He reminds me of the older guy in Burn Notice.
He's like the dude. Yeah. He's like the dude in Jurassic Park when,
he meets him at the diner in Costa Rica.
Yeah, and he's all pretending to be undercover.
Dotson. We found Dotson.
Hey, don't use my name. Yeah, he's wearing what Dotson's wearing. And then they go to his house. They go to his house, and he has all these plans laid out in his phone, and all these things that he totally, A, wouldn't just have laid out, and B, why is his phone sitting there? Why doesn't he have his BlackBerry?
Yeah. Look up Dotson.
BlackBerry, the most secure phone in the world. Yeah. Until they got overtaken.
Yeah, I don't know. He did speak Arabic, Russian, and Chinese. Arguably, the three most important. If you're going to be a spy, you'd probably want to know. If
you're going to be an interrogator,
you're going to want to know one of those languages.
There you go.
Hopefully, we don't get a YouTube hit for this.
Yeah, well, it'll be one clip.
Sound on.
Yeah, I got the sound on.
Okay.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
That's our guy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So we got Dodson, and he's a spy. So you think either was captured by the enemy on his hike. That, I think it's more likely in those two scenarios that you mentioned that he disappeared himself, because if he truly was going out there to hike, he was completely unprepared.
Hold on. You've just introduced a third spy theory.
Okay.
He's disappearing himself to hide from our own government. He's that good. He's Jason Bourne. It's like he went out there and then no one knows where he is and the government's looking for him or enemies looking for him. He's living his life somewhere with somebody else right now.
Do you think he's listening?
I hope so. Godspeed, Gilbert Gilman. I mean, even that name, Gilbert Gilman.
Well, it's his real name.
That was his real name that he got from the government when he started doing all that overseas contractor crap. You don't know what his name was before that.
His mom's name is Gilman too, though.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's totally not a Fed also.
His whole family is spies?
No, just the ones that are part of this Gilbert Gilman story.
Okay. So your theory is he's either...
My theory is he's a spy, and this is spy-related.
Spy-related.
Now, there's lots of spy-related veins we could go down.
Spy-adjacent.
Spy-adjacent
theories.
Yes, spy-adjacent theories.
Okay, so I'm going to rule out.
I have a feeling that there was a nuke in Chicago that he disarmed that we don't know about. There is going to be an attack just because it's close to us and it's the first thing. I just was there.
Okay. I'm going to rule out animal attack. I don't think...
100%. He'll take out a black bear with his bare hands.
Well, and they're scared of humans. Though we've been yelled at, listeners have yelled,
Yeah, I have firsthand experience of chasing black bears out of my camp. They're scared of humans.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
And I've firsthand been in the presence of a grizzly in the wild and a black bear, and I'll tell you, I was much more scared of the grizzly.
Yes.
I was about 50 yards from a grizzly, and
Flat Top Mountain?
No, this was in the Tetons.
Oh.
He was off the trail eating some berries, and we were walking, and all of a sudden, one of the guys, I can't remember, it might have been Ben, he's like, guys, look to your right. And we looked over, and all I see is this bear at eye level just staring at us.
All right, be real with the audience. Did you wet yourself a little bit?
I did not.
A little dribble?
No.
Still get tiny?
No.
I bet you did, you liar.
I didn't.
You totally did.
But I was, the adrenaline was pumping, and I had an urge to run, but we actually...
But you're busy peeing your pants?
We'll cut all this out.
Nope.
But no, we walked very slowly, and the entire time we were walking by, the bear's head was just following us.
Tracking you? Oh, God. Like those paintings where the eyes follow you?
Yeah. He was just like this.
And their whole head moves, too, so it looks like it's kind of moving in concert, with you and not the body.
So we just kept our same pace. We didn't try to run or anything, because a lot of animals, like a dog, if you run, they'll chase you.
Yeah, you don't want to turn your back to them either. But you also don't want to look them in the eye.
Yeah.
I heard you're supposed to kind of look below their mouth. Look at their chest. You don't want to make eye contact because it's a threat.
A grizzly charging could cover 50 yards pretty quickly.
Yeah, 30 miles an hour in sprints.
So
not prolonged speed, but
farther down the trail, we mentioned it to a ranger, and they said that time of the year, if there's natural food that they're eating,
you're pretty good.
Unless you provoke it, they're not going to come after you, because he was in a berry patch just eating.
Yeah.
So, but it was still terrifying.
Sure.
You see him at zoos, and you've got this giant fence in front of you.
Yeah.
When you're out on the trail and you just see this.
Yeah, there's nothing between you guys.
Nope.
And they can climb trees.
Yeah.
Oh no, they can't. They shake them.
And I've also been
I've seen a brown or a grizzly bear climb a tree. I think they just prefer not to.
Well, black bears
do.
I've been in the presence of black bears, and it's scary, but you don't feel the same terror you do if you see a grizzly in the wild.
Well, they're a lot smaller.
Yeah, so I'm going to rule out animal attack. I'm going to rule out any kind of fall, just because this trail is so short and it's well marked, and it was the middle of the day. It's a pretty popular trail, and this guy was a highly trained veteran,
highly trained current spy.
Current spy. So I'm going to rule out animal attack. I want a part of me. Oh, what are you looking at there?
Glacier National Park. I want to figure this out now before people call in. They're probably already typing grizzlies don't climb trees. I'm pretty certain this is a video of a black bear climbing a tree, and I think the grizzly chases it up. I hope it does. Otherwise, well, at least I'll retract it right now. Yeah. He's trying. See, he wants to, but
I think they're too
they're
big.
too big.
Yeah.
He might get up there though. I feel like I remember this getting up there. I just tried
because one of the things they tell you if a grizzly is chasing you is you can try and get up in a tree.
Yeah.
Mate.
Wait, he's going in again. It's that guy. That's classic, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't think...
No, I don't think they can.
Because I think one of the things I've been told by rangers is you can try to climb a tree. Black bears, you can't. They will run up a tree after you.
Oh, yeah.
But, so yeah, you said ruled out animal attack, ruled out fall. I'm going to rule out exposure just because there was no storms that day. It's June.
Tree cover.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most logical theory here, and I'm gonna have to agree with the authorities, which we don't always do, is that he went out there to go missing, and he's now working for the U.S. government as a spy somewhere.
Yes, that's 100% what it is.
What is that?
Brown bear in a tree. Yes, I found one.
Yeah.
So I can say they probably could climb trees, but most of them never have.
That bear looks very uncomfortable
he's
and nervous.
Stuck. He got up there and he's like, oh, crap, I'm not a black bear.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, he's like trying to figure out how to get down right now. That poor guy. Aw, that's sad. I'm going to turn this off. I don't want to watch that. All right.
So, yeah, I don't know that I'm going to go down the same train, jump on the train with you that he was captured by another country.
Jumped on the train, but we've taken that train to another spot where there's different trains, and that's where we're not sure. We're kind of standing and looking at all those trains like, hey, where do we go?
I'm just going to go the old-fashioned spy route. He's probably embedded somewhere in Russia right now, doing his spy stuff.
Now would be the time.
Yeah. Well,
all the things are going on.
A few years early, but so I think
not a few years early. He just knew since then. He's been there since.
Yeah.
Expecting it.
So yeah, very interesting story. It was a little light on information, especially with the one.
I wonder why, Mike. Yeah. I wonder why there's not a ton of information about this story.
The one big piece of information from KRO TV, that special I tried to find, was taken down. So that had a lot of information that we probably could have gotten on this.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear cut though. He's a spy.
Yeah.
Now, if anything happens to me and Mike, we're both healthy. We both want to live.
Yes. And Gilman, if you are listening to
or
this,
I'll join.
You could I can help. You could call our number and let us know how things are going.
Maybe he's so good he's the Bigfoot guy who keeps calling in.
Hey,
he's been priming it.
Yeah. So
he can feed us information.
I don't know, an interesting little case here. Thank you to John Luck.
That's my off the deep end. I'll end it there, I promise. I'll have one little story after this. My off the deep end is he is the Bigfoot guy, and he's been leaving those messages knowing we're going to play it on a Patreon, and there's a secret message embedded in each one of those messages. So the message that it's getting to is one of our patron members.
Okay.
Boom. That's off the deep end.
Now, was there something you were going to share with everyone that you forgot last time? I can't remember now.
Oh, the story about how I ran into a patron supporter?
No, you talked about that, haven't you?
I've talked about it in the patron episode. I forgot to do it in the main one.
Okay, well, fill everyone
I'll do it real
in
quick.
We'll jump
so
off.
It was Hannah Morgan. Was it Hannah Morgan? I'm going off memory, which I'm surprised I ever remembered that much.
Well, tell the story and I'll look it up.
So I was at the Dirty Heads concert in Milwaukee, and I got pit seats because when you go to concerts that not a lot of people know about, you get really inexpensive front row seats. So I was in the pit with my wife and two friends of ours, and we were leaving to go to the bathroom or go get some drinks, and somebody reached out, and I think she either grabbed my arm or like tapped me or just like got my attention. And she goes, "Are you Joey Rado?" And I'm terrible with like names and faces and even people that I've known from a long time ago. So I freaked out and I was like, is this someone from high school? And I'm forgetting who they are. I'm going to look like an idiot.
Hannah Madden.
I was pretty close, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, "I'm a patron supporter of the show." So she actually recognized my face from a podcast, which is actually pretty cool because video is not a major part of our show. So she knows what we look like, and she recognized me. And I was such an ass because I was so flustered and confused and didn't really grasp what was going on. I was like, "Oh, thank you for listening." And we were going to the bathroom. So I was like, "All right, like, thanks very much." And I kind of left. And she was smiling and being nice, but like I got up to the bathroom and I was talking to my wife. I was like, I feel like such a jerk right now. Like I didn't even like talk to her. I just kind of like blew her off a little bit, and it was total confusion. So I turned into the stalker, and I kind of hung out in the back because I could see where they're sitting, and waited till they went back to their seats because they went to get food or probably talk about how much of an ass I was.
Yeah.
And I waited till they got back, and it went down, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I just like was thinking about it, and I was so confused at what was happening. And so I spent a lot of time talking with her. We took some pictures I posted on the internet. And she was talking about how one of the funniest things she heard on her show and what she was always laughing about was the episode we were talking about. If you're stuck at the top of a mountain in a lightning storm, you can bend over. So if you get hit by lightning, it hits your butt and goes through your leg into the ground. It doesn't hit your vital organs.
Yeah.
It's like kind of would work, and it's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But it would I would totally do that if I was stuck in there. And I was being Italian. And if you're watching the monitors, I think I have it back to us, not the screen. No, I don't yet. I'll turn this off. So I'm always like this, big arms, Italian, describing things. And I was drinking a little bit at the show, so that part took in it. So I'm explaining, like bending over, and I move my arms go. I knock my wife's beer completely out of her hand, goes flying. And she's like, see, I just hit the camera. Look at I'm such a klutz. So we're laughing. I feel like such an idiot because not only did like blow her off the first time, then I come back, I'm apologizing, just being completely flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And we were laughing. I was like, so anyway, and I go back to explaining it. And I bend over, and some other guy's walking by, and knocked the beer out of his hand. So I'm like trying to give this guy money. I'm like, I'm so sorry. The beer's only probably $8.
Yeah.
So it was just a disaster. But Hannah, it was awesome seeing you. I mentioned this on the Patreon episode. You heard it, but I felt everyone deserve to hear how much of a klutz I am and how terrible I am in person. So if you say something to me and see me, which I doubt will happen again, I thought that was pretty unique. Yeah. But if you do, and I'm weird, it's because that's how I am. I'm just weird and not well put together. So there's that. And I have one more piece of information, just government conspiracy real fast.
Okay.
I have to get this out because I heard it today on the internet, which could be fake. But apparently there was a guy who owned like 45 Domino's pizzas in the Washington area, like the DC area.
Yeah.
And they started realizing that like the Pentagon and the White House, these government buildings would have random like high increases in pizza orders at weird hours.
Yeah.
And then within 40 days, a major event would happen. So he totally like was monitoring like, wow, they're ordering lots of pizza all hours of the night at the White House. And then something would happen. And they called it like the pizza meter or something. He dubbed it.
Meter?
So they actually changed the way they get food in late at night because of
this guy.
Yeah, like
That's
it was like a total hack. Like he's figuring out like stuff was happening.